Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great Thursday. We got a couple stories to talk about today. One is on Marathon, one is also on Bit Digital. Those are all good stories there that we have to cover. Otherwise, the markets were up today. However, Bitcoin and I believe Ethereum were down today, along with a lot of the miners. So we'll look at all that information that we do have. We'll also take a look at my prediction from early this year in January, where I predicted Bitcoin price where it would be by the end of the year and network hash rate. We'll take a look at the progress that we've made, how close I am to that right now. And then we'll also take a look at my portfolio, how it has performed since I started investing really last year. So we'll take a look at all that. But as always, you guys know the drill here. This is not financial advice, for entertainment only. Please do your own research. And I'm invested in the following coins and companies for full disclosure. So let's take a look at the markets here, see what we got going on, and then we'll get into the rest of the stuff. Okay, so here is the markets. Markets were up today, like I said. The S&P was up 0.94%. Dow Jones was up 0.34%. NASDAQ was up 0.53%. So a good day in the markets. Bitcoin right now is trading upwards. Also, I put in here from the beginning of the year, you can see here that we're going back to basically Saturday, the 31st of December. And I added in here comparison to NASDAQ, comparing it to Bitcoin. You can see here that NASDAQ is down 10.59% so far this year, while Bitcoin is actually up 62% so far this year. So obviously Bitcoin has kind of decoupled at least from the NASDAQ. And then we could possibly take a look at, maybe tomorrow we'll take a look at the other ones as well, as far as Dow Jones and the S&P. If that has decoupled as well. But right now it's good to see that we have at least decoupled from the NASDAQ, which is good. However, it seems like whenever Bitcoin is going down, the markets are going up, and we get the reverse on that as well. When the markets are going down, Bitcoin is going up. So it's kind of interesting to see here. And today, when we look at today's price action on Bitcoin, it was obviously down 2.14% to a close of 26,820. We pretty much wiped out any gains that we had here in the last couple of days, in the last 4 or 5 days. Which is unfortunate. We came pretty close to our 200 weekly moving average, which is the red line here. We also have the 20-day moving average crossing now over with the 50-day moving average. So I don't know if this is going to spell more trouble for Bitcoin, where it might go down in price. We'll have to see on that action. If we look at the 4-hour chart and we look at the RSI is of 45 right now. Last time we were back right around here. Bitcoin was actually a little bit higher at that point. Kind of in the middle between there. So it's pretty close to where it was. And if we look at the 1-hour chart as well, we can see that the RSI is now at 45. Last time we were back here, price was actually higher on it. So it looks like it's trending downwards right now. But we'll see if we get a reversal on that one. Okay, let's take a look at Ethereum here really quick as well. Ethereum on the daily, we can see that it was down also today to 1.2% to 1,800 is where it closed off. And it did the same thing. We pretty much wiped out any gains that we had in the last couple of days as well. And we have the same situation happening here with Ethereum, where the 20-day moving average is now crossing the 50-day moving average. So we'll see how that's going to play out in the next day or two. We got Friday, tomorrow, obviously, to worry about as well. So we'll see what happens there. And that's it. So it was a pretty bad day for at least the crypto part of it. Miners were also down for the most part, except for a couple. And if we look at those guys here really quick as well, let's turn these off. And we can see that Annie was actually down today 1.76% to 33 cents. Argo was down 4.03% to $1.19. Bit Digital was up 3.38% to $2.45. I think this is based on the news that came out. Bitfarms was flat today at $1.15. Cypher was down 3.64% to $2.38. CleanSpark was down 6.03% to $4.21. Cores was down 2.57% to 34 cents. DigiHost was up 3.27% to $1.58. DMG was down 2.6% to 19 cents. Greenidge was down another 8.4% to $3.27. Hive was down 0.64% to $3.12. Hot was down 3.94% to $1.95. Iris Energy was down 1.75% to $3.93. Marathon was down 7.04% to $9.38. Mawson was down 5.71% to $2.64. Riot was down 3.99% to $11.07. Soluna was down 2% to 21 cents. Stronghold was actually up today 8.62% to $6.05. They've been coming down here for the last, well, it looks like almost for the last 15 trading days or so. So it's good to see them get a little pop. And then TerraWolf was down 1.84% to $1.60 on the day. Okay, so that's it for the miners here. And let's take a look at the network hash rate really quick while we're at it. Right now, this is the 30-day average. Here is the 7-day average. 7-day average has come down a little bit here to 365 million. And the 1-day average is down today to 344 million right now. Okay, so that's it for that. Let's take a look at the stories that we do have here. The first one is obviously a Marathon. So Marathon Digital Holdings collaborates with Brink to raise up to $1 million to support Bitcoin Core developers. I think this is actually fantastic news here, what they're doing. So let's get into what they're actually doing here with Brink. So Marathon, a leader in supporting and securing Bitcoin ecosystem, and Brink, a 501c3 fully donor-supported organization dedicated to strengthening the Bitcoin protocol and network through research, development, and robust support system for both emerging and established Bitcoin developers via funding, education, and mentorship programs, have joined forces to raise up to $1 million to help support Bitcoin core developers whose goal is to maintain the Bitcoin protocol. So I think this is really good news here, and this is how they're going to do it. So to ensure Bitcoin core developers can continue their essential work of maintaining and strengthening the Bitcoin network, Marathon and Brink are joining forces to raise up to $1 million in donations for Bitcoin core developers. Marathon has committed to matching all donations up to an aggregate of $500,000 through 2023 for a total potential donation of amount of $1 million when combined with third-party donations. So from May 18th to May 21st of 2023, so really within the last couple of days here, during the Bitcoin 2023 conference, Marathon will match all donations to Brink up to a $500,000 maximum donations from Marathon on a 2-for-1 basis following the conference. So if you put in basically $1 into the donation, Marathon will match $2 up to $500,000 basically. Following the conference from May 22nd to December 31st, Marathon will match all donations on a 1-for-1 basis up to the maximum donation of $500,000 when combined with donation matches from Bitcoin 2023 conference interval. So I think this is just fantastic news. I really appreciate Marathon doing this for the core developers. And I think this is just great news. So let me know what you guys think about this. Yes, they're going to be spending $500,000 potentially, but this is a donation. I think they can write it off in tax for tax purposes as well. So I think this is great. Next is going to be BitDigital. So BitDigital Inc. announces expansion of mining operations into Iceland. So now they're expanding into another geographic location. I think this is actually really good as well. They're diversifying where their miners are located. They don't have any facilities of their own. They do all the hostings with third parties for their machines. And here's what we have. So BitDigital is pleased to announce that it has finalized an agreement to expand the company's Bitcoin mining presence into Iceland. This expansion will allow BitDigital to tap into Iceland's abundant renewable energy resources and further diversify its hosting operations. Following this agreement, BitDigital will have mining operations in 3 countries, the United States, Canada, and now Iceland. So I think that's actually really good. Part of the agreement is obviously a 2-year agreement with Greenblocks EHF for approximately 8.25 megawatts of incremental hosting capacity at a facility. And I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. Iceland, the company will fill the capacity with approximately 2,000 S19J Pro miners and 500 S19 mining units that were recently purchased for approximately $3.6 million. The mining units are expected to be delivered to the facility by the end of May 2023. So I think this is just a great way for them to diversify, to also get their hash rate up. And it's just a nice little step forward in their path to getting all of their miners energized eventually. Okay, so I just want to point that out. So I thought those were great. And finally, we'll go not really quick, but we'll just kind of take a look at my prediction that I had back in beginning of January in 2023 here. So this was kind of my bull case scenario for where things might have happened this year as far as where the Bitcoin price could be, any given month here from January through December, along with the average network hash rate on the 30-day average. And I'm pretty close on one of them. I'm a little bit farther off on the other one. So hash rate, I had hash rate increasing by about 2.5% each month, going from January through December. So we started out at roughly 264 million terahashes in January, and I had it at 346 million by the end of the year. This was based on the number of, purchased miners that the miners have reported, how much they actually installed in 2022, how much they had left to install in 23. I was calculating that based on how much they actually have the network hash rate percentage-wise, trying to figure out where things could possibly get to by the end of the year. And obviously, I was a little bit off on that. We'll see if maybe this does come true by the end of the year. But right now, I'm off. Okay. So I had the network hash rate being at 291 here in May. We are at 334 million right now. So I'm off by 14.62%. It is higher right now than where I had it. Bitcoin price, I had Bitcoin price increasing each month by 7% a month from a start in January of 20,250, and then by the end of the year, we would be at 42,624. I still think this is possible with Bitcoin price. We'll see with the network hash rate where it actually ends up by the end of the year. It does seem like it's cooling off a little bit here now in the summertime. We've had a lot of miners install a lot of machines already, Marathon being one of them, along with others. So I'm thinking maybe that's going to kind of cool off here going forward a little bit. At least until the end of the year. So we'll see. Obviously, we're pretty close to the 346 million terahashes right now with 334. So I'm guessing I'm probably going to be wrong on that, but I was guessing that we might go up in value about 31% by the end of the year. It looks like we might be closer to 50% by the time everything's said and done. Sorry about that. That is my phone going off, which I forgot to turn the ringer off. Okay, so with Bitcoin price right now, Bitcoin is at, well, I had it at 26,544 in May. We are currently at 26,874, so we're pretty doggone close to that right now as it is. I'm only off by 1.24%. I was also off on it from my 22 projections by the end of the year in 2022. I was off by, I think, like $1,500, something like that. I had Bitcoin going down in my bear case down to 13,000 something. We ended up at 15,500 something. So we were pretty close on that one as well. Right now, we're doing pretty good with it. We'll see where this is going to play out. But yeah, it's going to be definitely interesting to find out when we actually get into December where we ended up with this, how close I was to this. I do think I'm going to be off on the Bitcoin network hash rate. Bitcoin price, I might be a little close to it. We'll see where it ends up at right now. But it is going to be interesting to see nonetheless how close I was to that. Okay, so that's basically just an update on my predictions for 2023 as far as where Bitcoin would go and network hash rate and things are concerned. Let me know if you still agree with these numbers. If you think, obviously, my network average hash rate is going to be, I think, much higher than what I have it here, but we'll see. But that's it, okay? Next, let's take a look at well, I wanted to provide you guys an update on my portfolio here. So I've started investing in Hive back in 2017, 2018. I don't have the numbers for it. I'd have to pull it all from the exchange as far as when I bought what on those, but I do have about 2,720 shares of it. Average price is $1.70 on that. So that was actually, this was before the reverse split of 5-to-1. So that would have been, 35 cents roughly a share, I think, would have been my average when I bought it at that time frame. Bitfarms and CleanSpark, along with Rivian, I started buying in last year. I think even Rivian I started buying maybe before then a little bit here, but I'm debating, trying to figure out no, it was last year because I think Rivian went public last year. So I started buying those, and you can see that I was buying at a much higher price at that time. I was buying Bitfarms at $4.96, CleanSpark at $9.04 is when I started buying them. And then Rivian, obviously, bought at the IPO. I bought at $126.50. That was a goof on my part there, live and learn. So we know that this is the second time I bought an IPO. The first IPO that I bought was Coinbase. Didn't do well on that one. Haven't done so well on this one, but I have learned to dollar cost average down into it. And I need to dollar cost average in some more. So throughout the year, I have dollar cost averaged into both Bitfarms, CleanSpark, and Rivian here. And throughout the year of last year and now into this year, I also bought in some more when prices dipped pretty low. So I was buying at the end here at basically like 46 cents, 40 cents on Bitfarms was the lowest I was getting on them for the share price. For CleanSpark, I was getting the lowest here was $1.76 here. I should have bought a lot more back then when that was at that price, but I did buy some more here more recently. Along with Rivian here, my lowest is $12.21 that I was able to get it. And I'll probably continue to buy into Rivian a little bit more so, as time goes by. I think this Rivian for me is like a 5 to 10 year investment anyways. Original goal was going to get to 100 shares. I'm now at 530 shares for them. My current goal is to get about to 1,000 shares. It's one of those things where you hear people saying, 15, 20 years down the road saying, man, I wish I would have had 1,000 shares or something like this. So this is kind of my kind of play on this one. I think Rivian has excellent vehicles. They do have a lot of demand still for them. Their vehicles are obviously in demand. And I think they're going to be growing into the next couple of years here, possibly building out another facility to increase production and things like that. So they're kind of following the footsteps of Tesla. If you recall, Tesla almost went bankrupt here back when was that? 2008? No. Was it 2008? I can't remember exactly when they said it, but they almost went bankrupt if they didn't get bailed out. They got bailed out. They repaid all that debt, and they've been doing super ever since then. So Rivian is kind of my offshoot on that. I don't think they're going to get to as high of a rating or high of a stock price as Rivian or as Tesla has, but I do think they can obviously get pretty close to it nonetheless in 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 years potentially. Okay, now with CleanSpark, Bitfarms, and Hive, that's a different story here. This is a couple year investment between the bear markets and the bull runs that we do have. The timing, obviously, I didn't know when Bitcoin was going to bottom out last year, so I started buying in, Bitfarms and CleanSpark here, with the hopes, obviously, with things coming down, I would average dollar cost average into it. And eventually, when things start picking up like they are right now this year, I would possibly buy in a little bit more if it made sense. Wait until we get past the halving event, and then once we reach with Bitcoin new all-time highs, I would possibly end up selling some of these here, and then repeating that process again. Waiting for the bear market to show up, start buying in the bear market, not knowing when the bottoms are going to be in. But I do know a little bit more about what's going on with it, some of the metrics, some of the other charts that we can follow along with Bitcoin to kind of find out when are we getting close to the bottom here. So it's going to be, I think, the next cycle, I might do a little bit better than I did this time around, okay? But you live and learn, and you learn through these processes, and you learn by your mistakes, and hopefully you learn from them, and you move forward. So here's kind of what we got right now. So with Hive, I basically spent about 4.6 thousand on them back in 2017, 2018. Currently, it's valued about 8.4 thousand, so I am up about 3.8 thousand on them. That's an 83% increase on them. Bitfarms, along the same thing here. If it wasn't for dollar cost averaging, I'd be way down right now. But because of dollar cost averaging, which I'm a huge proponent of that, I'm actually up on it right now. I'm up 22.62%. I'm up to $2,673. Same thing with CleanSpark. CleanSpark, I'm up as well. I'm up about $7,191 on it right now, about 41%. And then obviously Rivian is the dog here that's kind of weighing everything down. So on Rivian, I'm down $18.22 on it right now, and that's down 57.37% on it. So I'm down about 9.6 thousand on it as it is. So combining all of those, I am up here. Total invested was 52,000. Total current value is about 57,000. Profit loss total is 4,768. That's 9.1%. If we take out Rivian from this as well, then we're looking at total invested of 35,500 roughly. Total current value is 49,900. Profit loss total is 14,426. I'm up 40% on that, so that's not too bad. That's actually pretty good, given that it's taken me, about a year and a quarter or so to get to this point. So it's definitely beating the markets normally. So I'm happy with that right now, but I think it's going to definitely do a lot better going into even next year, especially as Bitcoin gets into the new bull run and we get into new all-time highs potentially with Bitcoin. At that point, I think this is going to be more closer to maybe 300, 500% up from where it is right now. That's kind of the hope is, or at least, so I got hopium on this, okay? As far as the makeup of my portfolio right now is, you can see that CleanSpark is 47% currently, Bitfarms is 25%, Hive is 15%, and Rivian is 13%. And I also bought into BITQ and WGMI this year. This is for my profit sharing plan. This was allowed where we could buy the ETFs this year. So I took all the money that I had, pretty much 90% of it, that I had in my 401k, and sold what I had in there and put it into basically like 95% into WGMI and the rest into BITQ, just to kind of diversify a little bit, see which one does a little bit better. And luckily, I was buying at the very bottom here. Bitcoin and the miners pretty much bottomed out at the end of December, early January. And I started buying into WGMI at that point at like $4 and something cents. And I've dollar cost averaged into it here over the last couple of months, into January, February, and I think a little bit into March as well was when I was buying into it. So I'm at right now at an average cost of $6.94. I'm up 50.63% on that one right now. And on BITQ, I'm up 45% as it is right now. So things are looking pretty good at the time being. Obviously, Bitcoin goes down in value. All this stuff is going to slide pretty quickly as well. So I just wanted to provide you guys an update with where I am on things and how actually dollar cost averaging has benefited me greatly, because if it wasn't for dollar cost averaging, I'd be looking at $9.04 and $4.96 and $126 for share prices if I didn't buy into them as things were going down. It's not always pleasant watching things go down when the markets are going down and you're seeing your portfolio decrease in value over, time after time after time. But when things do rebound, it is so rewarding to have done that in the past. Okay, so that is it. Let me know what you guys think of all this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys learned something from this as well. And I just wanted to keep you guys just informed on what's going on, so you guys can see how I'm also doing in this. And I know you guys are also investing in a lot of these guys as well. So I wish you guys all the very best. I think this year is still going to be a little bit bumpy, you could say, especially as we get into the summer. We'll see where Bitcoin goes with that. I'm still thinking Bitcoin will go to about 42,000, hopefully by the end of the year. And then after that, we're looking probably after the halving event and into the next bull run, I'm thinking Bitcoin probably around 186,000 to maybe 200,000 is possibly where the new all-time high is going to be. But we'll see. Okay. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you to all my Patreon members. Thank you to all the YouTube members as well. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. And if you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.